let's go ahead and finally kick this thing off as we got number 3 Cincinnati taking on number 6 LA Tech. Who will be the victor of this best of 7? Only the pitch will tell.
Man, and what a story it is going to tell us tonight. We got Chubb taking it off the sidewall to start us off. Jazzy Wazzy looking to sneak one in. But D-Hacks decided, nah, my defense is better than your offense. Keeping that one out as just Louisiana starting with some fervor here in the beginning of game number 1. It's what we like to see from these young guns, but obviously on the side, number 3 is their opponent. The number says that they are ranked higher, that they should be better in this matchup. Frick is going to open up the lane, and that first goal is going to prove right now that Louisiana's got a monster in front of them.
Yeah, a monster indeed. This team, this is what they do so well. They really just kind of hunker down on the defensive side, wait for a lane downfield, let your teammate play bodyguard a bit, and we see that unfold in real time as D-Hacks takes to the skies. Plays it down below under Chobe, side down below, gonna get the dunk on the goal line, and very quick succession. It is now 2-0 for Cincinnati. D-Hacks just beams underneath, side with the pre-flip. Judo got a piece of it, but just not enough to keep it out of the back of the net. And LA Tech find themselves in a hole early.
And that's what happens. I mean, you've got to be able to just start off strong, and obviously your strength might end up being your weakness against a team just like Cincinnati. These guys are used to playing. I mean, like we talked about, look at their group. Look at who their group was coming into this. These guys are used to that extremely high-level competition. So Louisiana has a full plate to deal with, almost like it's Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's definitely a full plate, maybe a bit more than what they could handle. That's a nasty flick over the top, but Frick trying to find their teammate off that sidewall, pre-jumping. They're back on it. Now with a little bit of boost, D-Hacks in the middle, gets double-teamed at the midfield. It's Sai now up for it, downfield, looking for Frick. Frick opts to go for the boost starve, and now it's going to be numbers advantage for the moment. D-Hacks has to scramble back. Demo's the man down below, and the aggression coming out with those demos, absolutely huge. Chobe trying to get a nice touch. It's now 50 over to the back wall. D-Hacks now looking for a solo. Doesn't have the double tap lined up quite, and now it's more pressure. Finally, a good 50 going the other way for LA Tech. Can they make something out of it? No. D-Hacks going to clear that one out. Only as far as Judo, though. Frick up in the air. Double commit in the air as well from LA Tech. It's an open net for the time being, but everyone on LA Tech just too spread out, all scrambled back, trying to find a rotation back. Now it's going the other way for Cincinnati. D-Hacks holding strong at the midline. And just take their time, get it over the top, find someone at the midfield. Frick looking downfield. D-Hacks puts it just wide into the corner, but the pressure continues.
And this is all like good and well here for the side of Louisiana, I believe. Oh, this is going to be awkward here. Chob with no boost whatsoever. Stuck on an island in the back. Will concede a goal there. That's 3 unanswered here in game number 1. And that's still, I'll be honest with you, doesn't change my opinion. I think this Louisiana squad can figure it out, but right now they have got to get their wits about them. It just, they kind of look all over the place here in this first game.
Yeah, definitely a lot of scrambled defense, and that time you don't scramble enough and you just let Frick flick that one top bins. Chobe doesn't know what they're doing. Jazz caught out no man's land, and that's just a free look at an open net for Frick. 4 now for Cincinnati, and we're just under halftime. You really need to get going here. It's going to be tough to make it back in this game, but at the very least, look for some momentum going into game number 2. But, you know, half a Rocket League, if Cincy was able to do it, you can do it as well. Just really got to step up to the task. Frick looking to get it down to Sai. Sai just puts it bar out. And Frick again off the backboard looking for D-Hack. Sai at the midfield has Judo right underneath Chobe. Interesting to have that stacked right there. Guess you're just trying to go all out in this situation. Judo, big clear downfield, trying to follow it up with low boost. Soft touch over to Chobe. Chobe able to follow up though. Backflip off of it. Jazz tries to get up to it in time. D-Hacks, can they beat out the 50? They cannot. Judo can clear this one out. Gets a huge pinch. It's now going to be a scramble on the counterattack. Go over to Chobe. Chobe with the bump on the back line and just not enough power behind that shot.
Oh no, Jazzy trying to get that wave land. Can they get some more on it? Little boost for D-Hacks. The opening was there. Had Chomp waited just a little bit on it. Just a hesitation. Probably would have secured them a goal. Judo looking for some more possession. Jazzy trying to help out. Chomp trying to get a touch. These guys are just genuinely scrambling to get the ball away from their net, and it feels like that's all they've been doing this entire first game. Again, I don't mean to be so hard on Louisiana Tech, but it looks diabolical from them right now.
Yeah, Cincinnati, they are definitely a team that can hang up crooked numbers if you're not playing sharp. And Sai, great goal line save. D-Hacks can't make the read out of the corner. Big bump. Chobe has to go early, not quick enough. Defense from Cincy, absolutely stout right now. And the other thing that LA Tech is not doing well is this boost management. You know, right now they have full tanks, but so many times they find themselves caught out at midfield with no boost, not able to make a challenge. And they really need to just find a way to keep picking up those pennies as they rotate along and try to keep this pressure going, because Cincinnati, if you let them control the pace of this game, of this series even, it's going to be a very quick night for you. But with championship aspirations, Chobe, just that pass, you can see the plans start to develop for LA Tech. And as time ticks down here, they're really going to need to take this lobby timer, tighten up a bit, and go into game 2 trying to find some kind of response. But Cincy just going to spike it, and the Bearcats take a commanding 4-0 victory in game 1.
And again, what do we expect from the number 3 to the number 6, right? It's got to be lopsided. It should be lopsided. It should be tough for this Louisiana Tech squad to play up to their opponents. Also, like we said before, the opponents that Cincinnati had going into this bracket were some of the best teams in this entire bracket. So their group was stacked. They barely squeezed by. They're in here for a reason. They're looking to prove that they actually earned this spot just as much as everybody else. Louisiana, you got to lock in. That was a messy game 1. Clean it up for game 2. Show us what you got. Prove to us you also deserve to be here like everyone else.
Yeah, and like we touched on before we started the game, you got a best of 7. You have that luxury to take that game 1 loss and try to learn from it and build some momentum in game 2. Again, not ideal, but at this point, you'll take what you can if you're on the side of LA Tech. It's definitely going to be a rough game 2 for them if they're not able to make those adjustments, as we got some musical chairs being played currently.
There we go. We're waiting for Jazzy.
Gotcha. Well, it looks like everything is all set and ready for game 2. Will LA Tech bounce back, or will we see yet another dominating performance out of the Bearcats?
I think they can bounce back here. I think maybe playing a bit more patient and less spaced out. I feel like they were very, very spaced out in game number 1. They can close that gap between every teammate, kind of put together some team plays. I feel that we'll see a bit more fruitful endeavors from the side of Louisiana. That's a good pass. I think Jazzy overextended just a little bit on it. Chob just not there in time. It looks like a free shot, but it's off the corner of the woodwork. Definitely helping out Louisiana there. Judo now trying to get a touch. Jazzy with no boost. Oh, this is awkward. Chob will get it out. Not good enough. Shot from Sai. Looking for the double. Can't find it. Again, the crossbar and the post helping out Louisiana here within this first minute.
Yeah, they got that 4th defender out for him between game 1 and game 2. Right now, since he can't seem to buy a shot, they've been hitting that backboard and crossbar probably a bit too much than what they're used to. Jazzy down below trying to get that pass from Judo. Intercepted well by Sai. Sai, soft touch. Use it for D-Hack to take over. And another thing that LA Tech, they need to improve on is that power going to the infield. It looks like that's something that they want to game plan around, is getting those passing plays from the sidewall back down to the infield member. But they just end up getting not enough power behind it, get an awkward touch on it, and it ends up going either way too far out in front or just behind their teammate waiting down at mid. And it's, if you want that part of your game plan, you really got to lock in. That's a great shot, but better defense from Judo. And now it's downfield. Judo puts a shot just too far to the left. Now back infield, that one on target, but Frick privy to the game plan now. They saw it in game 1 and then this opening 2 minutes. They're like, hey, you want to try to go infield, we'll shut that down. Infield two-man play on the ground that time, trying to switch up the pace. Frick, little bit of boost. Was looking for the musty, but didn't have the flip still. D-Hacks jumping from yesterday all the way back in his own half. It's now side of the midfield. Jazzy up for it. Gets a pinch off their backboard. Judo down below, trying to continue the push. D-Hacks full tank. Boom. Over to Sai. Sai reads it. Can they get the corner read? They can, but it's down back to D-Hacks, and that's blocked out by Jazz. Sai just puts it right back into D-Hacks. Frick keeping the pressure going. Looking for a solo play out of the corner. Tries to get the dunk. D-Hacks down below, and they're going to get that one to go. D-Hacks, just before halftime, get Cincy on the board here. Frick, you got to respect Frick down off that sidewall, and D-Hacks just finally able to put it just under the crossbar instead of right at it.
It's a double commit. The double commit was deadly right there at the net. Oh, these cheats are not good enough, but Chob down there able to take that one. Judo does get a good 50, actually, and Jazzy, no boost, chasing this one down. Oh, that's another double commit. These guys have got to clean it up on offense and defense. D-Hacks puts a fiery shot down from the mid, right into the back of the net. That's going to ring up two on the side of the Bearcats, and I hate to call attention to it, my friend, but that is 6 unanswered.
6 straight. You know, watching LA Tech, we're seeing a little bit of what we saw with Gladiators on LAN just the other weekend, where it's like they have these plays developed for them, but just something in the communication is broken. That time it's not, and that one sneaks its way in. Jazz gonna finally respond with their first goal of the night. Judo infield pass, and that one was well placed. It had the power behind it, and Jazz just able to get the job done, rattling around the crossbar and the bottom of net, but they finally get their first point. And that time, communication did not seem to be an issue. We didn't see a double commit. We saw a good infield passing play, and hopefully this trend continues for LA Tech.
Also, just let's, like you said, call attention to the placement. That was excellent right there. Chob needs to beat, can't. Jazz doesn't need to do that. You can't hit the brakes. You've got to jump. You've got to be able to challenge a little bit better than that, Jazz. I know was trying to take some possession, but unfortunately, you got to just get the ball out of there as quick as you possibly can. However, you can't score 7 in a row. That's what we got to take away from this. Louisiana shut down all the unanswered goals. Looking for another one here. Chob almost mixes it up, but the shot is just a little too wide. Jazzy now with a chance for a pass. D-Hacks over to Frick, maybe. Chob there. Back out to the mid. This could be it. Oh, it's another one. Maybe we go again, but that's such a long clear downfield. And it's not on target. D-Hacks, you had a freebie. Why did you let that one go?
It looks like they were trying to find the angle around it, but ended up just bailing out of the touch because they would prefer it just go, off that back part of the bottom part of that back wall rather than, slanging it and possibly pinching it across. You just take the possession when you got it, especially when you're up 3-1. This Cincinnati team, Frick. Oh, they got stuck. They got absolutely glued to that back wall. But that would not be the first time that we've seen Cincinnati go for those back wall dunk down plays. And that's when you know that they're feeling themselves. And obviously, with a Brazil across 2 games, this is a Cincinnati squad that is definitely feeling that they are kind of the clear-cut top dog in this. Oh, demo bump. Lots of chaos here on the back line. Sai finds their way out of it. Jazz able to get a good 50. This one going to waterfall down. Frick has to make the touch. Can't connect. Judo has to beat out D-Hacks. And they get a good 50. This one might float in. They need the secure. No one's there. And backline defense. LA Tech, you got to get those. Those are gimmies. You just had to tap it in. Give it a little tippy tap. Cho going to look.
There we go.
And they get that one to go. Put it far post. Let your placement do the talking. Frick just awkward in the back of the net, not knowing what to do. Cho slangs that one at 79 kph. 7 seconds left on the board. You get a good kickoff here. Things are looking back interesting for LA Tech.
It needs to happen here for them. They've got to be able to put more of it together. Sai over the top. Almost one more. Yeah, good save. But we've got to see a little bit more for Louisiana Tech. We've got to see them we've got to see them lock in these moments where they just can't seem to finish the job. I do believe that this shows that they have signs of light, but it is going to take quite a bit of extra effort, at least starting the game on the forefront instead of on the back foot. So if we can see that happen for them, then I do believe this series does turn around. But for now, it is just, it almost feels one-sided.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it's definitely flashes in the pan for LA Tech. You're going to need a lot more for that fire to really start. And speaking of fire, like Cincinnati, they just came out throwing heaters at you. So I respect the comeback attempt late in game number 2. But at the end of the day, Cincinnati probably just thought of it as 3-1. It's GG's already. Let's go ahead and try to play some time a bit. And we got them pre-jumping and trying to go for these wonky passes just early in game 3. I feel like this is definitely Cincinnati's series to lose, but LA Tech, I think their main thing is pace. They're getting kind of drowned out by the speed that Cincinnati is playing at, giving them too much space, thinking that they can, you know, get these, great save from the back with Judo getting that one to go. And yeah, like we saw in game 2, that demo play at the midfield that opened up their second goal of the game for Cincinnati, trying to catch the ball at midfield because you don't expect your opponent or don't respect your opponent coming at you full speed, trying to instant challenge you and depossess you. It's not how you play the Cincinnati team. The Cincinnati team, they play fast, they play with possession, they play with the idea of we're going to keep the ball as close to us as possible. So giving them space like that to close the gap, you really got to try to, you know, give less possession to them and not let them go for team plays like that.
That's a full field commit. They did. Poor Louisiana Tech could. Just rush the defensive block right there. Chob thought they had a little bit of time to scoot up. They were already in that forward momentum. It was over their head into the net. Will be again goal number 1 to the side of Cincinnati here. The Bearcats continuing to scratch and paw their way to this victory.
Yeah, this goal diff is going to be monumental by the end of this series. And I feel like this won't be the only one where we see score lines such as this. And, you know,
what a shot! Why is it open?
Huh? Who? Where? Judo just shoots that. I think that Cincinnati just didn't think that Judo was just going to, you know, power shot it to far post and put that much heat behind it. What a play from LA Tech to respond there. And they did it pretty quickly. So you're not down in a deep deficit. You're back to neutral and got plenty of time left on the clock. You got to challenge Frick. You get the demo on him. That's good enough. It's Sai keeping up the pressure though. Jazz back to the midfield. D-Hacks keeps his one in front of the box. LA Tech having to play backboard defense because everyone right now is so low boost. Team pinch and Judo able to backflip into that one. You got to think, was that just right place, right time? But LA Tech, their defense has, you know, I want to say it's looked better. We have definitely seen less gaps in it, but those gaps are still there, and that's where Cincinnati capitalizes. Jazz able to keep that one out. Pressure still stays. D-Hacks, quick pop up, but not able to do much with it. Jazz able to close the gap. And now finally some time spent in the red part of the field for LA Tech.
Off the sidewall here, Judo needs one. Gets below the first attacking defender. Can we get another one from Chob? No boost. That's the biggest thing, too, I also want to point out. Louisiana has been operating pretty close to 0 for, I mean, most of this series. That is such a tough challenge. So unintentional, great on Sai to be in the right position, but Chob late to the jump, puts it right in front of Sai's car, who's just able to tap that one in. Call him the tap-in merchant. It's less than halftime here in Game 3. The score deficit is only by 1 this time, great demo, but it's the closest game that we've truly seen here for Louisiana Tech throughout this series, and it's monumental for them. In the grand scheme of things, this is such an important game for them to be playing right now. If they can manage to at least send it to an overtime, that's a double opportunity. Can they follow it up? No, Judo! Is it a good 50? Is it wide enough for Chop to put in? It's not. That's so bad. Is it a counter the other way? Nope. It's not. It's going to not be cleaned up by Frick. What are they doing?
Just, how do you not convert on that? But thankfully for LA Tech, this is still only a 1-goal game with 90 seconds on the clock. Judo with a couple good flicks, but again, operating on 0 boost. Jazz with last man, has to try to make a play. Can't do that. And Frick gonna extend here late game. And they just take this one again all the way themselves off that sidewall. Uses that flip beautifully. Jazz, you gotta go there, but just a bit too late. Cincinnati just doing Cincinnati things. Now hanging a 3-1 scoreline again. Late game. Chob, you have the opportunity. You have to pick up a penny here. You can't. You get demoed, but it still goes in. The demo cam. We don't even know what happened after that. Chob, the good bump on D-Hacks, low boost, just able to barely get the beat. And that's just a floater in. Frick's not able to get back in time. And this time you're 3-2 with 1:18 left. What can you do with it?
Hopefully something important. But let me give you a quick update. Shout out to Iceborg there in the chat. We've got 8 seed Rutgers up on San Diego State right now, 2-1. GSU is up on Texas. Is that the Buds? That's not the Buds, is it? That is the Buds. Buds are up 2-1 on Texas right now, and your Niners 2-1 on Purdue.
Yeah, take that, Beaver.
Oh, the pogo! Judo, please get something! Oh my gosh, that'd have been a clip. That would have been the clip. I don't even care if they lose. That would have been the clip.
Almost. But you love to see it out of LA Tech. Down but not out. You're having the confidence to go for pogos like that. You know that you have the ability to hang with this team as Juno's going to rip a shot. And 31 left on the clock. They're tied up.
Okay, baby. Send it to OT. That's all you guys got to do. What a heater, by the way. I mean, obviously it wasn't that fast. But like, what a heater. Come on, Louisiana.
It was still 77 kph with defense. Like that, that was a missile, dude.
Oh, good challenge. Jazzy, stay in it with no boost. Again, this team operating on no boost, they do it well enough. They don't do it perfect, but they do it well enough. Come on, somebody dunk it in. Close, the third. Jazzy, can you get something? No, but it might leave Judo the chance to get a possible double setup. Do we have the fourth goal? No, we don't. We at least have OT right now. Can Jazzy get there in time? The bump is good. Puts it down. Leave it alone, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to, you need to reset. Reset at 0. Please. Put the ball down. Not like that.
Oh, that was so dangerous. D-Hacks almost called game right there. But we have overtime in game number 3. Said it's not going to be that easy to put us on match point. Frick looking to make this a swift overtime. Side down below. Jazz down below. And it's D-Hacks with a good 50. This one going to waterfall down. Sai already trying to read it, but doesn't have quite the look that they wanted. Judo getting baited into that corner. Does so well to do so. D-Hacks up for it. Frick having to play off the back wall. Choke, trying to put one on. Side down below. And still pressure for LA Tech. D-Hacks trying to get the ceiling pinch. Sai off the sidewall. Trying to follow it up over to Frick. Frick puts a shot on. Jazzy able to make the save. And we stay alive in overtime. Big demo. Gonna open things up. Make this a 2v3 for the moment. Downfield is Jazzy. Beat out by D-Hacks. Sai on the sidewall found by him. Sai trying to play this back down to the ground. Judo lone by himself. D-Hacks in the central, and it's great defense again from LA Tech. They are really clutching up here in the latter half, and now overtime of game 3.
D-Hacks, you got to get that ball. Okay, so you got to get that ball away from you. You were in no position to be playing defense from that corner like that. Sai up to the sky. Jazzy interrupt. Judo quick turn shot. Doesn't quick fire fast enough. Nice attempt at a clear from Frick on low boost. Finds Sai all the way over, but it's a lateral touch. Chobe back down to a teammate, back down to another, and that's gonna be the goal. They just didn't clear it good enough, but Louisiana has absolutely proved right here they have it in them. The Bulldogs have that dog in them. It just needs to start barking.
Yeah, man. That overtime looked so good at so many different moments for LA Tech. And just Cincinnati, man. D-Hacks came out with the clutch. That was their only goal of the game. And it came when it mattered most. as we head over to Utopia, LA Tech on the verge of being swept. Feisty, what do they need to do differently?
They got to clean up. They got to clean up on defense. Offense is fine. Your offense is good. You guys are definitely clutching up in the right moments. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it exactly as you need to. However, the defense, you got to stop overextending, stepping on each other's toes, if you want to call it the phrase. But I mean, Judo putting up almost an 800.2 goal, 5 saves. Like, Judo is working so hard. Not saying that Chob and Jazzy aren't, but like, good Lord, Judo is just chipping away at the opponent's defense. If they just get a little more help from those other two, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it'll mean the world of difference here heading into game 4. You don't want to get swept here on the national stage. Judo flip reset, playing it all the way back down to the ground, uses that flip at the last second. D-Hacks able to get a piece of that into the corner. Chobe, LA Tech keeping the pressure on early here, but it's going to be a downfield look. D-Hacks pre-jumping. It's now to the backboard. Judo able to get a little bit of possession here. That's another thing that this team has had few and far between, is possession and time on the ball. You take it when you have it, but they have done so well to adjust to the pace that Cincinnati has set. And Frick was trying to get that one back central for a teammate. D-Hacks 2 touches, trying to find Sai. Now might be the other way. Judo 1v1 situation. The dunk no good on the goal line. Great defense coming out from Frick there. It's Judo with a big demo. Frick putting it to the backboard. Can they read it themselves? Judo going to intercept. And again, it's Judo who is trying to put the team on their back right now, make big things happen. D-Hacks over to the side, or to the backboard rather. Jazzy able to clear this one out again. Judo trying to make plays. Frick to the backboard. D-Hacks pre-jumping. Chobe able to clear that one into the corner for safety.
And Jazzy, I mean, they're working their hardest here. No boost on a lot of these clears, a lot of these defensive deflects. And like we do harp on a few of these players, but Jazzy has worked so well with no boost in the defensive line to play against Cincinnati approaching. It's honestly wonderful. Chob fires one down home. It's off the mark. Jazzy's going to go ahead and go again. Unfortunately, not in the right spot. Big clear from Sai. Leaves Chob down there on an island. Going to have to play this off the back wall. They do. In Cincinnati, when they approach, all three of them move in with such. They move in such sync that it's terrifying. You actually sometimes you have no idea which one's actually going to take the shot.
Yeah, they're so great at just kind of, you know, you're at the boardwalk and you're trying to find the lady, you know what I'm saying? They're so good at doing that and disguising who's going to actually be that initiator on offense, because you have to respect that all three of them, they are mechanical, they are playmakers in their own right. And I do want to touch on LA Tech. They have been much more aggressive in this game 4, and rightfully so. We've seen so many defensive demos for them. I would love to see that translate onto offense, because if you're getting these looks that you have, but it's just that last man in the way, make Cincinnati sweat on the back line. They are too comfortable on defense, and that has been kind of the thing here this entire time is, you know, your defense has had holes. You've patched those up the best you can as this series goes along, but try to bring out some of that aggression on the back line. And rather than just getting those defensive demos, while they have done wonders to try to, you know, close the goal gap between you two, you need to get better looks on offense, because you have the skills and the shot placement there. It's just that last man is too consistent for Cincinnati. This might be a solo play for Jazzy. Ends up going wayward into the corner. Chob down below to Judo. Judo soft touch up. Sai kind of a free look at the ball going downfield. D-Hacks underneath trying to submarine that one. And it's now Jazzy on that back wall trying to hunt this down. D-Hacks going to interrupt their rotation. Jazzy now leading the charge downfield. Do they have the infield pass? They do, but no one is there. 2 members back, and it's going to be a shot on target from Sai. Judo able to get a good touch there. Save that one away. Having to play it down below. Frick gets a touch. And it's Jazzy off that back wall. Awkward. Everyone from Cincinnati goes. This one stuffed on the goal line. And that one cleared away. Again, clutch defense in the big moments here for LA Tech.
A minute 30, so 90 seconds for Louisiana to really kind of nail home something. Trying to find Judo upfield. Judo was getting bumped out of the way on that boost. Tries to get back here. Can they do so? It's still just a bunch of challenging touches. Nice save at the goal line. Chob with possession. Tries to push it downfield. Get it over to Jazzy. Jazzy had to cut a little too early for that one. The setup was there, though. We saw the idea. The spark of brilliance. Can we find another? Over to Chob. Chob with a shot. Good defensive deflect. Did we find one more? Jazzy continuing the offense. Clear downfield. Judo has to pre-jump the demo. But Frick is there to clear it away. Less than a minute now. And we have seen little to no inspiration on the offensive side. Judo with a light touch. Maybe it's to the back wall. Going high might not have been the decision you wanted to make. The double won't find its way home either. Chob trying to remain annoying. They do. Can they get another? Pre-jumping. Looking for the 50 on D-Hacks. Can't find it. Judo looking for more out of the corner. Jazzy still trying to continue. And nothing, absolutely nothing for the side of Louisiana could find the net.
Yeah, despite their best efforts here, this one going to be off the backboard. D-Hacks does well to cover that crossbar and a big clear downfield. Louisiana Tech, they're going to have to scramble back to this and try to go coast to coast. D-Hacks puts off the back wall over to Frick, and this one going to just spike down. No one for LA Tech can get back to it. And Cincinnati, they're going to sweep here in round one. We both predicted a 6-game stretch. We could have seen it. They had the skill, they had the tenacity to try to push to 6, but ultimately Cincinnati takes this one in a